Esther was known in her community as a strong and devoted woman. She was a loving mother to Mercy, her only daughter, a precious gift she often called my gift from God. To many, Esther's home looked peaceful. Her husband appeared responsible, quiet, and hardworking, but behind the walls of that home, a painful secret lived. For years, Esther believed she was the only wife. She trusted her husband completely. She supported him, prayed for him, and stood by him through struggles. She never imagined that somewhere else, another life was being built, unknown to Esther. Her husband had secretly married another woman. Not just recently, years ago. While Esther was faithfully raising Mercy and managing her home, he was building a second family with this other woman. He had 3 children. Years passed before Esther discovered the truth. The revelation did not come gently. It came like a storm, through whispers, through rumors, and finally through undeniable evidence. Esther thought the worst pain was discovering her husband's secret marriage. She was wrong. One afternoon, without warning, her husband arrived home, not alone. Behind him stood a woman Esther had only heard about in whispers. Beside her were 3 young boys, carrying small bags, looking confused but hopeful. Her husband cleared his throat and spoke words that shattered whatever peace remained in Esther's heart. They will be living here from now on. Esther's pain deepened, not just because of the betrayal, but because her husband did not ask. He decided. Neighbors began to whisper. Family members chose sides. Some told Esther to endure, for the sake of peace. Others told her to fight for her dignity. The second wife, though quiet at first, slowly began to assert herself. After all, she too had been promised a place. She had lived years believing she was loved. She had 3 sons who needed their father. Now 2 women shared one roof. The second wife stepped inside the house slowly, her eyes avoiding Esther's. The 3 boys followed, unsure of where to stand. Mercy, Esther's daughter, watched from the doorway, holding her mother's wrapper tightly. The house that once felt like Esther's sanctuary suddenly became divided. The kitchen became a silent battlefield, the sitting room filled with heavy, unspoken tension. The children could feel the cold air between the 2 women. That night, when the house had grown quiet and the children were asleep, she sent word to the elders. A family meeting had to be arranged. She would not cry in silence. She would not fight in the dark. She wanted answers. The next evening, the sitting room was filled with elders, uncles, and a few respected community men. Her husband sat confidently, as though he had already prepared his defense. Esther stood up, her voice shaking but strong. I was married to you in front of these elders. I have been faithful. I gave you a child. Why did you marry another woman without telling me? The room fell silent. Her husband adjusted himself and replied calmly, in our tradition, a man must secure his lineage. If there is no male child, who will inherit? Who will carry my name? Only men inherit our father's land. Murmurs filled the room. Esther's heart pounded. So Mercy is nothing? She asked, her voice breaking. My daughter is not your blood? She does not deserve inheritance because she is a girl? One elder cleared his throat and nodded slowly. Our custom favors male children, he said. It is not hatred. It is tradition. Esther felt the weight of generations pressing against her chest. The second wife lowered her head, but inside, she knew this was the reason she had been chosen. She had given him 3 sons. 3 heirs. Her husband continued. I did what any man in my position would do. I need sons to protect my property and continue my lineage. Esther looked around the room. So you broke my trust because of land? Because of property? Because of tradition? Tears rolled down her cheeks, but she did not sit down. If tradition says my daughter is not enough, then maybe tradition is the problem. The room became tense. Some elders frowned. Others looked thoughtful. Now the battle was no longer just between 2 wives. It had become a battle between love and culture. Justice and tradition, a mother defending her daughter's worth, and Esther must decide, will she accept the tradition? Will she challenge it? Or will she fight legally for her daughter's inheritance? The house had been heavy with silence for days. But silence can only survive for so long before it explodes. It happened in the kitchen. Esther was cooking when the second wife walked in. The air tightened immediately. I need to prepare food for my sons. The second wife said quietly, reaching for the pot. Esther stopped stirring. Your sons? She repeated slowly. In my kitchen? The second wife straightened. This is our husband's house. He said we all live here now. Esther turned fully, her eyes burning. You came into my marriage. You lived in the shadows for years. And now you walk into my kitchen like you own it? The second wife's voice grew firmer. I did not force your husband to marry me. He came to me. He said he needed sons.